Welcome to the Mediabox. Ruslan Stefanchuk, chairman of Ukraine's Verkhovna Rada. You're here in Strasbourg to address the European Conference of Presidents of Parliament. Interesting times. Tell us the message that you brought to this assembly yesterday.
First of all, I would like to express my gratitude for this opportunity to speak today to the speakers of the Council of Europe and all the presidents of parliaments, because I believe that today is the time to speak honestly and openly, and the main messages that we try to convey to our colleagues are that Ukraine is grateful. Ukraine is grateful for all the support that we have been receiving during the 3 years of this brutal aggression against Ukraine and throughout the 11 years since the time of Russia's incursion into Ukraine. But apart from gratitude, we came with another message. Today we need your support, I believe, more than ever, because the situation in the world is quite uncertain, and Ukraine has to understand that this support from our partners will keep coming, and it has to carry on even more than it was before. Because today, this is not only the threat for Ukraine. Today, this is the threat for the whole European continent. And today, Europe must wake up and understand that if we don't unite, if we don't make a single and united strength to withstand the Russian aggression, motivated Putin will not stop on Ukraine's borders, and he will be the threat for the whole of Europe. And then it would be too late to speak of what we could have done, should have done, but we hadn't. So these are my clear messages, that today Ukraine's safety is the safety of Europe, and that our position has to be united. We must do everything to make sure that we save the whole European continent. Today, there can't be anyone who remains indifferent. Indifference is the worst trait that will bounce back against those who were indifferent. And I'm very grateful to a lot of speakers, presidents, my colleagues, who said that they understood these messages. And I believe it's also very important to speak this in the parliamentarian circle, because parliaments are the institutions that can have a true impact on the situation. They represent our nations, the great nations that make up the big Europe. And that's why it's very important for me to make sure that these messages are heard and brought to the nations of Europe about the threat that we are faced with. And next, we have to get together and to build our plan how to defend democracy in Europe, how to defend the principles that the best Ukrainian sons and daughters of Ukraine are dying for, how to make everything possible to make sure that Russia stops in Ukraine and was kicked out of Ukraine and doesn't move further into Europe like the rust that is corroding all the civilized world. And I believe that we have to fight this with our unity. We have unity, then we have victory.
Very briefly, what message are you taking away from Strasbourg?
I take away very important messages. The first thing is that I was heard, and it's very important because a lot of presidents after that came to me and they said that I have their full support. The second message is that Europe is waking up, and Europe starts to realize the threat that we're faced with. The third message is that Europe is uniting. Europe is uniting and believes that in unity we have our strength, and only united Europe can become the great and fully fledged player in the world, because Europe is one of the largest continents, not only if you look at the population or the territory, but the spirit that we have in the European countries. And a lot of my colleagues come up to me and say, well, we are small countries, we're not such big countries, we do what we can. And my message is very simple to them. I said, just you have to understand one thing. So the time has gone long by when the greatness of the country was measured by the size of its territory. The greatness of the country is measured by the spirit that this country has. So I say, you are not small countries, you are great countries. And it's important because the unification of great countries means the unification of the great Europe as a powerful geopolitical player.
Ruslan Stefanchuk, thank you very much.
Thank you.